Oh my days, bro. So South Africa is on fire. Billions are being stolen through corruption. Meth labs worth hundreds of millions are being uncovered and busted, and the country is spiraling toward a breaking point. But this isn't just a South African thing. I mean, bro, if you look across the world, from youth-led revolts in Madagascar to billion-rand hospital scandals, to America's government grinding to a halt, and even Netflix caught in a global culture war, signs are clear. Corruption, collapse, and chaos is chowing us in real time. And today, I am gonna try and break this all down like the news baby that I am. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start off Lime Zanzo because I feel like it's only logical to do so. To start where you're at, right? Before we go global. Okay. In September 2025, that was last month, the National Provincial Police Operation uncovered and shut down meth labs in Mpumalanga and other provinces. And this isn't just the first one, bro. The media and SEPs reported seizures variously valued at 350 to 400 million rands. Damn, if I had that kind of money, damn. Arrest of several suspects, including foreign nationals in some raids, were reported. Remember what I said about South Africa being a playground for foreign nationals to commit these illicit crimes? This is what I was talking about. Police found freezers and containers used to store product, precursor chemicals, and manufacturing kits. These are professionals who are literally good at their job, bro. We got chemists out here, bro. But this isn't a first-time incident. Like I said, in July of 2024, which was last year, police also uncovered an industrial-scale methamphetamine. Damn, I think I lost the brain cell there. Methamphetamine manufacturing lab on a farm near Groblersdal in Limpopo province. But guess what, bro? Guess what? This story even gets crazier. 4 suspects were arrested, including 2 Mexican nationals. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Illegal immigration is intentional. It makes you wonder if it is. Illegal immigration is intentional. If these people are making money from these drugs, presumably, then I would imagine that illegal immigration is just a front so they can pull these people into the country to do these things. You know what I'm talking about? It's just a theory. It's just me thinking out loud. You know what I'm saying? So Reuters reported the seizure street value as about 2 billion rands. 2 billion rands. Not only was it reported as one of the country's largest busts, but it signals transnational links and industrial scale production happening in South Africa. South Africa's market is crazy. No wonder these kids be getting it on them. You know what I'm saying? No wonder they be getting into it too. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's right, but I'm just saying, bro. Another fascinating story that we are not so shocked about or shocked by as South Africans, since corruption is such a national anthem at this point. You know what I'm saying? National anthem, I'll say a core performance indicator. I don't know what I'm saying. But another story that doesn't shock South Africans is this Tembisa hospital story, bro. Listen, bro. The Special Investigation Unit, known as the SIU, yeah? The SIU says a coordinated group of suppliers and complicit officials gutted around 2 billion rands. 2 billion rands meant for the Tembisa Provincial Tertiary Hospital by abusing procurement rates. Yes, 3 major syndicates that are running the show, plus smaller networks, used fake paperwork, split orders below tender thresholds, front companies, and conducted bank accounts to sort of siphon this money into luxury assets. I heard there was luxury cars and stuff like that. These people are getting richer while we are getting poor and suffering. It's a crazy world, bro. It's a crazy world, bro. The SIU's interim report says investigations analyzed 2,207 procurement bundles and 4,501 purchase orders. The total value under investigation is about 2 billion rands. I needed to look ahead because, bro, that is a shocking number. 2 billion rand. Actually, it's 2.04 billion rand. 2.04 billion rands to be exact. That's crazy, bro. The 3 identified major syndicates named in the report are the Maumela Syndicate, the Mazibuko Syndicate, and the so-called Syndicate X. Now, you're probably wondering, bro, what are you talking about? What does this have anything to do with the hospital? The thing is, the syndicates were running the show, and this is how they operated, bro. They exploited the hospital's procurement system by deliberately splitting work into many small purchase orders kept under 500,000 rands to avoid full tender processes, and by producing fraudulent, quote, documentation that pretended competitive bids existed. Okay, a lot happened right there. A lot is happening. So basically, these people were able to split the work into smaller purchases, and to split the money into smaller amounts so that it goes on undetected. This probe, however, does trace to a whistleblower report by Babita Diokaran in 2021. Her expose prompted the Office of the Premier to second the SIU to investigate. As we know, she was later then murdered in 2021 while exposing suspicious payments at Tembisa, and many commentators and political parties now point to the SIU findings as vindication of her warnings. Damn. I've been on the news and I noticed the news, but one thing I noticed, one big thing I noticed, is that this was framed as a state capture. You know, I'm talking about some form of state capture. We all know that a state capture, I mean, if you look at the Gupta situation that happened, it's basically when a private entity infiltrates whatever to gain control. You know what I'm talking about? Something like that. Private syndicates effectively controlled who got contracts and how public money was spent at the hospital, subverting oversight and denying care to patients. Man, it's a tough time for South Africans, man. It's a tough time for South Africans. It's crazy what conditions people we face in South Africa on a daily basis. You know, something has been happening, bro. Something has been happening, especially in Madagascar. And you may ask you if Gen Z is waking up, if Gen Z is shaping up, or if Gen Z has officially arrived. Has the new generation arrived? Has it woken up? We are going to change the world. In late September 2025, worsening water shortages and repeated power outages occurred in Antananarivo, the capital of Madagascar. I'm sorry if I butchered that. The youngings, the youth taking part, they framed these cuts as a concrete evidence of long-running corruption, mismanagement, and elite capture of the economy. Not that it's not happening in South Africa, but I mean, who's judging? The movement is largely youth-led and digitally coordinated. Short-term demands are reliable water and electricity. However, they also want the resignation of their president, Andry Rajoelina, the dissolution of certain institutions, and broader accountability. Besides the fact that independent estimates and NGOs reported dozens killed and many injured as a result of these protests, Madagascar is one of the world's poorest countries, and long-term structural problems make basic service failures extremely politicizing. I looked at this, but I noticed that this wasn't just in Madagascar. This is actually a global thing that's happening. It's almost like a global movement. If you think about Nepal, large Gen Z-led mobilization against corruption and a social media ban, highly digitally organized with widespread youth participation, is what led to them taking down the country. I would assume. Not the country specifically, or per se, but the government. I think they took down the government. Didn't they burn the parliament or something? Their form of parliament? I mean, it's not the same thing, but damn. But I'm literally getting fatigued. In Morocco, protests under Gen Z 212. Well, basically, these protests were over inequality, healthcare failures, etc., corruption, and again, via decentralized organization and social platforms. I keep coming across it. Discord should check that shit out, man. You know, I could do great things, bro. In Asia, more widely, the phenomenon is trans-regional, with local grievances shaping each movement. And I'll ask this again: is Gen Z waking up, or is this just another? Moving on. I mean, repeated patterns of predominantly young participants, decentralized online organizations, cross-pollination of symbols, and political outcomes in some places serve as indicators that point to increased political agency and tactical sophistication amongst Gen Z. Is Gen Z waking up? Has the new generation arrived? I don't know, bro. I don't know. All I know is that there's a bunch of protesters happening online, and scary times we're living in, bro. No scary times. I mean, it could be good, but that's besides the point. Moving on, something has been happening in the US. Something has been happening in the United States of America, my people. And I don't really get what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't really get what's going on. All I know is everybody's on it. Penguins all reported it. News Daddy reported it. All these people is reporting it. And I wonder why. The US federal government shut down on October 1st, 2025 after Congress failed to pass a funding bill. And apparently this isn't the first time this has happened. Bro, I was surprised to find out that shutdowns are a thing. You know what I'm saying? Bro, this is the first government shutdown since 2018 to 2019. The main point of conflict in the Congress was healthcare funding, specifically Affordable Care Act subsidies and Medicaid funding extensions for certain states. Democrats pushed for maintaining these healthcare provisions, but Republicans, who controlled the House, opposed them and sought spending cuts. Negotiations broke down before the September 30 deadline, and there's consequences for this shutdown. You know, of course, I mean, I would imagine, based on the reports, here's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? About 750,000 federal workers are furloughed, so temporarily unemployed, furloughed, temporarily laid off, I would imagine. Essential workers such as the military and border patrol, etc., must keep working but will not be paid until funding resumes. Damn. The economy is, visibly impacted. If you were going to slow down things, and like it's saying here, you know, if you look at it, say face value, if you're going to shut down the government, the economy is going to be affected, of course. You know what I'm talking about. You're losing your workers and stuff like that. But I feel like that's not really what's happening, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not going to get deep into it because I don't want to offend anyone, you know what I'm saying? Because people in the US, you know, especially on the internet, they get so offended, but I guess it's not everybody, you know what I'm saying? As of October 5th, 2025, both chambers of Congress are still negotiating. President Donald Trump has publicly stated that the shutdown is an opportunity to push spending cuts. There is no confirmed timeline for reopening. So yeah, it's gonna be a while, man. If I was to give some historical context, because this, like I said, this isn't the first time it's happening in the US. It's apparently the 22nd US government shutdown since 1976. The longest shutdown lasted 35 days, which was in between December 2018 to January 2019. Crazy times. I can't even imagine such. I didn't even imagine something like that could happen to a state. To a country, you know what I'm saying? Government shutdown.
All because of the Democrats. The Democrats are causing the loss of a lot of jobs with their, it's a shutdown.
It's the White House's decision to let them go.
I guess we'll wait and see. Now this next story, right? This isn't a conspiracy. This is actually something that's happening. You know what I'm saying? This is something that is happening on Netflix in real time. Now, I want the Christians to hold your horses. Because, we heard enough and we see it now. What I mean, I'm also Christian, you know what I'm saying? Something's happening, something is happening on the news, media, the things we watch, and there's like this idea that media is after the kids. And based on the stuff that I've come across on television and YouTube, I hate to admit that, you know what, it's the truth.
I'm trans, Norma, and everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows, and being here, it's like a whole new place.
And we see, what am I talking about, bro? The recent controversy that Elon Musk hopped on about that transgender character in some show. In the late September, early October 2025, a short viral social media chain reignited a culture war fight over Netflix children's programming. So something that's targeting the children specifically. A clip from the 2022 Netflix animated series Dead End Paranormal Park. I guess that's it. Dead End Paranormal Park, whose protagonist Bonnie is explicitly written as a transgender teenager, was reposted by the right-wing account Libs on TikTok. Elon Musk then amplified that post on X and urged his followers to, quote, cancel Netflix, and framed the clip as an example of Netflix pushing trans or woke agenda at children. The amplification led to a burst of online outrage and harassment aimed at the show's creators and talent, as well as a near-term drop in Netflix share price. So a lot's been happening a lot has been happening around the world, and I hope to follow these stories and to bring them to you whenever I can. You know what I'm saying? If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, to leave a like, comment what you think about specifically this Netflix or whatever I talked about today. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a busy day. Yeah. I don't, bro. The world is descending into chaos. It's crazy.